Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a bit of an update on the sort of Nelson Peltz versus Disney and Bob Iger situation. So if you don't know, just as a really quick recap before we get into the news, Nelson Peltz is an activist investor. So he buys stock from companies that he believes can do better, that he believes he can get a heavy return on his investment. Hopefully you'd think that's what any investor does, quite frankly, because why are you invested in a company you don't believe in? But he also tries to push that change through advice. Not all the time, but sometimes. And he's done that with Disney, and he's trying to get board seats. Bob Iger and Disney are refusing. And now, you know, his plan is this year, I think it's around March or April time. March. He's going to be taking his bid for board seats direct to shareholders because Bob Iger and Disney are refusing. Now, the other day, Netflix had their sort of annual report. It's just like an investor call, I guess, just to say what's been good, what's been bad, how the business is going, and just discuss things. Makes sense, it's what they do, but obviously Netflix is doing really well. Disney isn't doing really well. And so Nelson Peltz is using this as more ammunition to put Disney and Bob Iger on blast. So that's what we're going to take a look at today, because this adds to the many layers that are involved in Nelson Peltz's bid for board seats, right? This is all just fuel to the fire that he will take to shareholders, undoubtedly. So we'll dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. I'll leave it linked here, my last video, because a lot of people may not have watched it, may not even know it's there because YouTube notifications are really bad. But it was a complete read through of part 1, so not a complete read through I guess, but part 1 of a Hellraiser comic. I did a lot of these in the past and I'm sort of bringing them back, or trying to, but please do give it a watch because you might really enjoy it. Anyway, follow me over on Twitter as well at Misstate Reviews. But let's take a look, right? So Nelson Peltz and Trian, which is his company basically, Trian Fund Management, blast Bob Iger and the Walt Disney Company's board after Netflix annual report shows impressive performance. And this is the thing, is because you have to, if you're a company such as Netflix and Disney, you're going to be comparing yourself to your peers. Now Netflix isn't necessarily Disney's peer directly, but they are within the streaming space. And you know, they make films as well. Obviously, they've got nothing to do with the parks or anything like that. But these are a massive cost for Disney. The streaming element, it's a huge cost. It's a black hole currently. So it's important to compare yourself and keep your finger on, you know, on the general business space. So Trian Fund Management and Nelson Peltz, who are waging a proxy battle for 2 seats on the Walt Disney Company board, bolstered their argument by comparing the company to Netflix after the streamer had its 4th quarter earnings report. And this was originally posted by Valiant Renegade, friend of the channel. And he said, look, Disney runs theme parks, live sports, ESPN, linear broadcast. They've got movies, they've got TV, they've got cruise ships, resorts, hotels, timeshares, everything. Netflix is just a streamer. However, you know, comparing Netflix's yearly earnings to the Walt Disney Company, for the entire fiscal year of 2023, the 12 months ended December 21st of 2023, $6.95 billion in operating income from $33.7 billion in total revenue, 20% actually right at 20%, 21% according to Netflix. It says Disney had $88 billion in revenue for the total fiscal year of 2023, and they had $8.9 billion in operating income. They made $2 billion more in operating income than Netflix did, and it took them $55 to $56 billion more in total revenue to get $2 billion more than Netflix, which if you think about it by comparison, that's insane. That's madness. So Nelson Peltz was obviously very clearly on all of this, very same. So he updated his Restore the Magic website, which is something he's using. I mean, this is just as a quick aside, this is what it is. Restore the Magic at Walt Disney Company. Trian believes Disney is the world's greatest entertainment company, but it hasn't performed for shareholders. It's something which he's using to bludgeon Bob Iger and Disney with. And it's quite funny. Basically, it's like his viral marketing campaign to shareholders. It's great. I think it's fantastic. It's a great way to do it. Because all you have to do is just report stuff that they're doing and go, yeah, this is crap. What are you doing? So he compared Disney's performance with Netflix. This is Nelson Peltz directly. The site reads, Netflix's impressive performance increasing operating margins more than 5 times from 4% to 21%, and its ability to grow free cash flow from negative 3.3 billion in 2019 to positive 6.9 billion in 2023 highlights the significant opportunity Disney has to improve its profitability. Netflix also guided to achieving 24% operating margins next year, which stands in stark contrast to Disney's goal of break-even profitability next year. Right. That's some terrible goals from Disney, especially considering Disney's asset quality and significant revenue scale. And then we've obviously got this as well. This is just, you know, what it is. And you can see what Trian's goal is. You know, they want 30 billion revenue. So Peltz's Restore the Magic website had previously used Netflix as an example of success that the Walt Disney Company should be following, and one he hopes they, you know, to put them on, which makes sense. Again, like I said, it's their peers in the streaming space. So the site identified that the Walt Disney Company has a major problem when it comes to streaming profitability, and shared Disney's current path is focused on achieving significant and sustained profitability, but offers no guidance or tangible targets beyond break-even. Target and achieve Netflix-like margins of 15 to 20% by fiscal year 2027 was what he previously said. So, you know, he is putting them on major blast. Major blast. And this will all add to his argument to shareholders to saying, hey, why are you settling for this stuff? This is bad. What they're sort of proposing here is not good. It's not good at all. Why would you not vote him in? You know, if you were a shareholder, why would you possibly not want him involved? That's what you've got to kind of ask yourself. And this has always been quite fascinating, this whole sort of chain of events that's been going on. It's interesting, and the sort of play back and forwards. But I hand it on over to you. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that it's fair for Disney to compare themselves, or at least Nelson Peltz to compare Disney direct to Netflix? I think so. I think so from, you know, quite a large perspective. I mean, think of the back catalogue and library that Disney has alone. That's a lot of stuff, and it's also a lot of quality stuff. Whereas Netflix, it's a meme that you go on Netflix and, you know, a lot of it's not particularly great. Has been for a long time. Although they're better stuff now, actually. I will give them that. So what do you think? Let me know. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.